want to talk about the Exam 3 study packet, Chapter 11, Number 5. So do you think the IOC policy of using a lottery is fair? And so this is the International Olympic Committee, and the lottery is used to ration tickets to Olympic events that are priced well below their market clearing price. Is it Pareto efficient? Why or why not? Using the criteria of fairness and Pareto efficiency, how would you judge the widely criticized practice of scalping tickets? That's where somebody gets to buy them up at the lottery price, at the low price, and then outside the venue or online, they sell the tickets at a higher price. Can you think of any other arguments for or against scalping? So let's dive in here. So the way we think through this problem is to draw the basic supply and demand graph that accompanies this material in the text. So price is dollars per ticket, and there's my software's going a little haywire again. Here we go. Dollars per ticket, and then quantity would be tickets per event. And so there's, let's say it's gymnastics, the women's gymnastics final, one of the popular ones for Summer Olympics. And so there's just a fixed number of seats because the arena is fixed in size, so they're not going to print any more tickets off. And then let's suppose there's this demand curve that looks like this. We'll call it D, and there'd be some market clearing price that if the market were allowed to behave normally, that price would hold. Everybody that is willing to pay for a ticket would get one, and people that weren't willing to pay at least P naught for a ticket would not get one. So these people down here wouldn't get a ticket. Let's say this is $500, just to throw a number on there. Well, let's say the Olympic Committee says, hey, we want poor people to be able to go, and it's not that tickets are dirt cheap, but we're going to sell them at $50 each, or 50, I think it was London, so 50 pounds each, whatever. What's going to happen is a lot more people want to buy tickets, so Q1 would be the quantity demanded, and we're going to use a lottery system to see who actually gets the ticket. So if you put your name in, we'll and put a deposit down on $50. We'll pull names out of the hat, and whose name comes up gets a ticket. So is this Pareto efficient? And remember the definition of Pareto efficiency. Pareto efficiency would occur if an outcome were such that nobody in the system could be made better off without someone being made worse off. In other words, all possibilities of mutually beneficial trades have been exploited. So let's just think about this lottery system. And let's suppose somebody down here with a fairly low willingness to pay, say $51, just gets lucky and has a ticket. And let's say somebody up here with a willingness to pay of $750 just doesn't win the lottery and doesn't get a ticket. So there'd be a mutually beneficial trade. This person would be willing to pay up to $750 to buy this ticket from this person who would be willing to give it up as long as he could get 51. So, $100 a ticket, $600 a ticket, any of those prices would make both this person and this person, the person with this marginal willingness to pay and the person with this marginal willingness to pay. Anyway, both of them could be made better off by that exchange. So it's not Pareto efficient. I'm just going to use PE for Pareto efficient. Using the criteria of fairness and Pareto efficiency, how would you judge the widely criticized practice of scalping tickets? So scalping is when, I think I already explained scalping. So for some reason that's seen as bad. A lot of venues try to ban it, but really who's a scalper hurting, right? A scalper is a middleman. A scalper is going out and talking to people like this person, say, hey, I'll give you $100 for that ticket. And then the scalper is finding people like the person with this willingness to pay and say, hey, I'll sell it to you for 200. And both this person and this person are getting a bargain and are better off for having had that opportunity. So, presumably this person's relatively poor, this person's relatively rich, both are better off. How is that unfair? So the scalper both increases Pareto efficiency and makes everybody in the system better off. So again, it's hard to make an argument against fairness by those measures. Can I think of any other arguments for or against scalping? Well, I think the big argument for is that efficiency, move toward efficiency, and making everybody that engages in a voluntary trade better off. I think those are the compelling arguments for it. Against it, if there's a robust scalping market, maybe scalpers generally work with cash, although in this era of Square and other apps that facilitate credit card payments to just ordinary people, I don't know that that's necessarily a good argument. But if people come into the event to buy tickets from scalpers, carry a lot of cash, well, those people could be vulnerable to crime, right? It's generally people don't carry around $500 to buy tickets or 1,000, and that if that's a widely occurring practice, maybe there's crime. Fraud, I suppose, would be another argument against scalping. Is if there's a big market in fraudulent tickets, so I go and I use Adobe Photoshop to mock up a really good-looking ticket, and I bring it to the venue and I sell it to some sap, and they take that ticket in and find that somebody else is in their seat. Well, okay, that could be an argument against it, but you're sort of reaching for these arguments, and for an economist, the stigma against scalpers is fairly misplaced, is almost entirely misplaced.